Safety focus of the week. Today is September 16th. This week's code of conduct is to respect the property of others. It's a very, very important topic, especially when it comes to underground utilities. Before Ben chimes in, I just want to mention really with underground utilities, if we ever do any type of damage, even if it's just to the conduit, we should at least inform them and let them know that there's damage to their facility and or potentially compromised. So I think it's very important. Ben, anything else that you kind of want to mention on this week's code item?
Yeah. It also, even if there's something that happens that you think is not a problem, let us know, because Matt and I a lot of times deal with phone calls later about somebody damaging something that doesn't belong to anybody that was related to the project that we were doing, but might be a property owner or their personal vehicle. And it's hard for us to backtrack later. So even if you think, hey, this is not a really big deal, let Matt know so we can, so we don't spend a couple of days trying to track down what happened. We just had a recent incident where that happened to us, and took Matt a lot of time to kind of figure out what happened and who it was. And then he found out it wasn't as much of a big deal, but if we'd known about it, it would have saved us a bunch of time.
Yeah.
I don't know if that explains it, Matt.
No, that does.
What we just went through.
Yeah, I think it's very important and highlights just reporting.
Yeah, like, hey, I backed into this guy's mailbox and he said it wasn't a problem. Is an easy one, right? He said it wasn't a problem, because usually things that are not a problem are a problem later.
Yeah, people start thinking about it after they kind of diffuse the situation. They think about it after. It's actually, yeah, this I kind of would like some compensation, or is there anything you can do for us? Stuff like that. It happens after. So take the burden of responsibility off yourself and just report. I think is a good way too.
Yeah.
I believe we are at 89 days without a recordable injury, so excellent job over the last 7 days. Let's keep it going. Let's start with a good briefing after the safety meeting with your crew, identify those known hazards and how we're going to mitigate those potential exposures. And again, health and safety, Austin and myself are ready to help out in any shape, way, or form on site for any safety issues or really just a double check or guidance on anything that you might have some doubt on. So please let us know how we can help, and we're here to help. With that said, we're going to get going on the safety topic this week. Austin, the floor is yours to educate us on and refresh our minds on trenching and excavation.
All right. I want to do a refresher on trench safety. A trench is an excavation that is narrow in relation to length. Generally, its depth is greater than it is wide, and the width at the bottom is 15 feet or less. Trenches 5 feet or deeper require some sort of system to protect you, whether it's sloping, benching, shoring, shielding. So sloping is when you slope back the edges of the trench. A good rule is for every foot high you go 1.5 feet deep. In benching, use the 1-to-1 system, and one bench cannot be higher or longer than 4 feet. Shoring would be putting plates in and securing them with some sort of jack system or tensioning system that holds those plates against the walls. And shielding would be like a trench box, stuff like that. You're required to do daily inspections conducted by a competent person, and this person should be able to identify the soil, inspect any protective systems that are in place, design any structural ramps, monitoring water removal equipment, and conducting inspections around the site. You do inspections after rainstorm, or after freezing and thawing has occurred. So overnight in the spring and fall, if it froze and it's thawing out in the morning, you got to make sure you inspect that. Or when any other conditions arise that you deem necessary to inspect it. What to inspect, again, the soil conditions, any fissures, cracks, or your spoil piles need to be 2 feet from the edge. Make sure any tools or equipment are no closer than 2 feet. Inspect your protective systems to make sure nothing got messed with overnight. Make sure they're all in good working order, and then hazardous atmospheres, because a trench seems like a pretty open area and whatnot, but lots of gases are heavier than the air and can get down in the lowest parts of wherever they traveled to. You have to have the safe means of egress, a ladder within 25 feet of where you're working in the trench. And you got to have ladder, stairs, steps, ramps, something other than just like a slope bank out of the trench. Because you could, roll your ankle, get hurt trying to get out of the trench if you had to quickly. Again, be aware of any weight or vibrations on the edge of the trench. They can, weaken walls. With too much water in there, water and trenches and dirt really don't mix well. Water can really destabilize the trench quickly. And with that weight and all that, be aware of fissuring or bulging of walls. Any cracks or bulges you see, that's the trench becoming unstable and dangerous to work in. So be aware of that. That's all I really have. So Ken, you're up, or Ethan?
Yeah, I'll start. Well, thanks, Austin. I guess I always look for ladders or egress too, and I think it's an important thing that can get overlooked. And I also think if an OSHA inspector comes and they see a slope, they might be like, that's pretty good. That's a little, maybe, there's a lot of thinking. Then if they wanted to do something, they'd be like, well, I'll have to get a measurement here and really to show something. Where if they take a picture and there's no ladder, it's an automatic thing without much effort, right?
Yeah.
So don't let them get you on the easy stuff, is my point.
Yeah. And trench is a big emphasis program right now, and they are issuing a lot of tickets, and they're stopping to visit a lot of sites. So we got a lot of open holes out there. So let's make sure that, again, if you have any questions on a trench excavation, let us know. Let us help you making sure that we're in compliance.
Yep.
Yeah,
sure.
I have one thing, Ken. Where that photo over on the right there, the fissure. We had a guy, it was a long time ago, he got hurt really bad, and it was only a 3-foot deep trench. And you know how we're always trained to you need a trench box when it gets to a certain depth. It was up at the U-Mall, and it was kind of some heavy and it was some heavy soil, and it was only a 3-foot trench, and that was kind of happening, and the guys had noticed it, but he broke it. His leg got broke by the soil, the way his leg was. So just because it's shallow doesn't mean it's not dangerous when it starts caving in.
It's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Be a lot of weight. Yep. Especially you got a boulder or something that's solid. It's going to stay together as it rolls at you.
Yeah, and it goes quick.
Yep.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, I'll take over the screen.
Scott Burns is remembering who I was talking about right now, I bet. It wasn't him, but he was here.
So you see my screen?
We got it.
Okay. So for announcements this week, we've got the Morgan Stanley coming here on the morning of September 22nd. There's half-hour meetings are available for you to review your 401k account with them. Check with Ursula or set up an appointment. And there's her number and her email address, or just stop in at the front office. Get the wellness program here. It's a quick shot of the weather. Looks good for today and Saturday. Rain starts to come in for the end of the weekend and for Monday at least here. And now we've got the project of the week, and Ethan is going to present. Ethan, do you want me to scroll or do you want to take over the screen?
You can scroll, Ken.
Okay, I'll do that.
Awesome.
Oh,
So
you're
this,
up.
this week's project of the week was the Addison BF 1729 culvert replacement. ECI was contracted with Vermont Transportation to remove and replace an existing culvert on Route 125 in Addison. The culvert joins Wards Creek and Lake Champlain together. ECI was given a 10-day road closure to complete the scope of work. The scope of work included a culvert replacement, adjacent roadway approaches, and channel work. The existing culvert was an 8-foot by 9-foot diameter, 32 feet long corrugated metal pipe, and the new culvert came from Contact and was fabricated as a one-piece, 52 feet long, 9-foot diameter, polymeric coated corrugated steel pipe.
And I
in
see it somehow I
preparation
got a
for the
typo in there.
winter ski season.
Yeah, I had a lot of trouble last night pulling all this together. I've had a lot of trouble with Constant Contact, and I mean, I made changes that didn't show up here, so I apologize for that.
Oh,
But
that's all right.
everyone's got the point. I'll scroll down to the photos now.
Yeah, so this first photo shows some existing conditions. You can see Wards Creek and flowing right into Lake Champlain. Project width, we had 50 feet off center line to complete the work in. And I think that's it for this page. This is a section view for the materials and backfilling for around the pipe. So we had a foot of stone roughly of crushed stone underneath the pipe, and we backfilled the new pipe with crushed stone up until the water line. Once we got out of the existing water line, laid down some road fabric and used a granular backfill for structures up until subgrade or subbase. And subbase was just a dense graded crushed gravel.
So the existing pipe, or the new pipe, is right on the alignment of the existing pipe, only a little deeper.
Yep.
Got it.
Whole project was done with our John Deere 380. This photo shows us driving 25-foot sheets for a cofferdam. We use that on the inlet and outlet. We used a 6-inch pump to dewater for the project. So that was a cool photo up in the bucket. A lot of mornings were pretty calm and it was pretty nice there. You can see the bridge in the background, but this just shows completed cofferdam. I forget the name of that bridge. But it was nice views.
Neat bridge.
Yeah. Right here, you can see the existing conditions of the culvert. It's pretty corroded on the sides and definitely needed to be replaced.
It's very similar to Talcott Road culvert,
Yeah.
how
The
it broke down at that point. Yep.
keep scrolling. So do that. The middle was all corroded out. So the top peeled off pretty easy, but the bottom was pretty sedimented in with like 3 feet of silt and rock and all that. So definitely took some time digging that out and peeling it out. But it's a photo of them peeling off at least the top of the culvert.
Nice.
This is the new culvert that went in, and we used the loader and the excavator to walk it down the road from our staging area.
It came as one piece. That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it was actually Contex's biggest pipe they ever fabricated, I guess, for one full piece of pipe.
Piece and transported.
So they stopped up and saw it. They were excited too.
Yeah, I like that. It makes it installation a lot faster.
Yes. Yep.
Set her down.
Yeah, once they got it over, they re-rigged it and set it right into place. It went really smooth. Here's a photo of them backfilling, so you can see we're just up out of the water level, and I believe he's started backfilling the other side. That's the 3/4 inch stone. And final, towards the end, there's Jerry grading off the dense graded crushed stone or crushed gravel for the subgrade. And yeah, we hit our 10-day closure. We used just about all of it. Right here, we're re-rip wrapping the inlets and outlets and blending it back into existing conditions. And here's just a side view of how it kind of came out on each side. This is the Lake Champlain side. So it went really well.
Good.
And this last photo is our final product with the pavement and everything.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, nice job.
Thanks.
Thanks for presenting. Let's see what we got. Go to my next screen here. This is from the photo archives, the Carey Bay Route 2 culvert replacement in North Hero back in 2012. And obviously it's quite a similar job, tying in two bodies of water, but it's a lake on each side in this case. And the other thing that's unique about Carey Bay was Route 2 here is the only connection across the county. In this area, there's no, back roads around because it is truly a causeway set up there. So we had, I think in that case, we had a weekend shutdown to get it done. And those are multi pieces there. So an interesting job, just kind of cool how we get these culvert jobs, and we found ways like the single piece, I think is really a unique, way to speed things up a lot. Okay, well, thanks, Ethan. I'll turn it back to you, Matt, and everyone have a safe day out there.
Thanks, Ken. Yeah, awesome job on that project. Thanks for everybody for tuning in this morning. If you're watching in group setting, please just send me over a message so I can capture attendance. Let's have a safe day. Let's have a great day.
See you later.